Okay, the title of my presentation is Preserving Generational Wealth and Intellectual Property via a Living Trust. And of course, I'm a rural fellow with the Rural Development Leadership Network. And our theme is empowering U.S. rural women, grassroots women leaders, perspectives, experiences, and approaches. And that's the title again. Welcome. I'm Meredith Coleman McGee. I'm a female entrepreneur and writer, a business consultant, 30 plus years of business experience. I'm an author, publisher, book collector, speaker, native of Los Angeles, California, raised in Jackson, Mississippi. Um, our roots, as far back as I can go on my mother's side, is 1848 in center, rural Atala County, Mississippi, which is the site of my next project, which I am working on, and I hope to start it in 5 years. And on my father's side, our roots go back to ball play, Etowah County, Alabama, and our ball play is where the Cherokees played baseball before their removal. And I want to say that I um, became familiar with the Rural Development Leadership Network in 1994 when I started working for the Federation of Southern Cooperatives, the Mississippi Association of Cooperatives, which worked with um, farm cooperatives. They still do. And that was my first time working in rural Mississippi at that time. And since then, I have worked in more than just Mississippi and rural areas. But now I'm based in an urban area. And I completed the institute in 1998, which was very significant to me because of the institute which we're recruiting for now is a month-long study at it was then at UC Davis. And it was very hands-on. We had field projects. We toured like housing co-ops, farm workers um, who were actively working, and it was very hands-on. And we did academic studies as well uh, through the Rural Development Department at UC Davis. The next slide. So I want to start with a definition. Generational wealth refers to financial assets passed from one generation of a family to another. These assets can be cash, stock, bonds, real estate, or family businesses. More definitions. Trust are estate planning tools that can help you manage or transfer wealth. Trusts provide control over how and when assets are distributed, protect estates from creditors, and minimize estate taxes. Intellectual property refers to creations of the mind, such as inventions, literary or artistic works, designs, and symbols, names, images used in commerce. And so, how did I start really trying to plan my death after I lost my husband in 2021 and my father in 2023? I started planning my death. At that time, I had a will, but I learned something different about death when I lost my husband and my father. And the three of us shared the same roof. And then I started thinking more. that a will was not what I needed to preserve and transfer my wealth because I have intellectual property. I'm the author of 13 books. I own poems that are on T-shirts, which is considered intellectual property. And then I wanted to create the trust to teach. I am the administrator of the Living Trust, but to teach the two younger people that I selected in my family to carry it on upon my demise. So they have to learn a lot. We have to learn together. And I'm 62 years old. Next slide, please. Okay, so here are ways to transfer assets. Of course, I'm sure you've heard of people having handwritten wills, and I even heard of a famous case where someone had a handwritten will, and the children found it in a couch. Well, one of the things that I've learned in my research is that even if you have a handwritten will, you need to present a copy of it to your beneficiaries. Then, if you have a typed will, it must be witnessed. It depends on your state by three or more people. It has to be dated and signed in the presence of a notary, and in the legal jargon, they call it executed. Then we have a revocable trust, and the administrator can change who the trustee is, and the beneficiaries can be changed. And that's what I have, revocable trust. Then you have irrevocable trust. The administrator cannot be revoked, even though you can change and add beneficiaries. And this is very important. A family limited partnership, which is managed by the family to control um, the assets, and it is the the institution to transfer any wealth from one generation to the next. The family needs an institution, and we have an institution which is different from a family limited partnership. We have Heirs United Investment Club, which was founded in 1997, based on co-op principles: one person, one vote; annual meeting, which is very important, constant education, and financial training. Next slide, please. Thank you. So I wanted to mention some famous trusts in terms of how we look at trust. Um, and I also have a fact. According to research, 70% of families lose their wealth in the second generation. Second generation. And 90% lose their wealth by the third generation. That is really serious. So I just picked two main trusts. I picked John D. Rockefeller because I guess most people know about the Rockefellers. Anyway, he started his Standard Oil Trust in 1882. They had a family structure, regular meetings, clear goals, legal counsel, and knowledge empowers heirs to continue the legacy. And of course, they have really set a high bar in terms of transferring wealth from generation to generation to generation. And one of the things that I read that they actually do, their trust buys a life insurance, and this goes back for many, many years, for a key member of their family. And when that person dies, the trust splits the insurance with that family, and then part of it goes to the trust to fund the trust. And then we have Cornelius Vanderbilt. And of course, that's a very famous family as well. And according to the research, um, their transferring continuously was a little different. Cornelius was the wealthiest U.S. citizen in 1860. Okay, this is before the Civil War. And according to research, the Vanderbilt fortune was squandered, riddled with family discord, gambling, etc. Today, the Vanderbilt founded companies are not family owned, and today the wealthiest heir is an author. Now, challenges and outcomes, sensible wealth management and stewardship is very important. The family is advised to stick to the plan, increase revenues, minimize distribution, preserve funds, take care of property, assets, complete tax filings. Now, I wanted to just mention briefly the difference between my own living trust and these wealthier people. I never had a lawyer to create my living trust. I'm a former paralegal. I spent days reading. I wrote my own trust, and it was approved by the bank lawyers. And I still don't have a lawyer. So me and my designated beneficiary, one is my great niece. She's 19, and my cousin, who is 28. So we're going to have to do what co-ops did, constant education. And the one thing I want to say about our family meeting structure, we already have that. We started the Heirs United Investment Club 28 years ago, and my two elder uncles established how families should meet. We were never allowed to argue at family meetings, to have any backbiting, to have any fussing. If your meeting was declined, you just had to wait to the next annual meeting and hope that your ideal would go forward. And if it didn't, too bad. It was no backbiting, no fussing, no discord, which was what I learned about the Vanderbilts. And I thought, wow, we did have one thing going. Next slide, please. Oh, this is the final slide, I believe. Anyway, I did a little more research, and I looked at Andrew Carnegie, um, and I thought that was just a wonderful example because Carnegie Hall opened its doors in 1891, and so that's what my goal. I would hope that my assets would be managed properly and stay in the family a century. And today, concert seats for Carnegie Hall range from $90 to $600. Then I looked at Tupac Shakur because he owns intellectual property, music, his face, his lyrics on T-shirts and quotes on T-shirts, and now his assets are actually managed by a professional management firm. And then I looked at Biggie Smalls. These are two famous rappers who died young. His mother took the hymns of his estate after he died and grew it. Then his widow, Faith Evans, started helping to manage it, and they still do. And his minor child, she became an administrator when she turned 22, which was not that long ago. So
Miss
their
Meredith.
assets is family run. Yes.
Sorry, I'm raising my hand. I'm so sorry. We have almost run out of time, and I
Oh,
know
we
all of
have.
us went over. Yes. So, do you mind just concluding, and then we'll move over to.
Yes, yes, yes. And
Okay.
um, Nipsey Hussle's assets are ran by his brother, and he has increased them. And I looked at Ray Charles, and he has 12 children. His net worth now, he established a record company in '62, is $105 million net worth, and that concludes mine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Meredith. This topic of wills and transferring assets to heirs is not an easy topic to always have, but it's very necessary. So thank you so much for your presentation.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
So now we're going to turn over to our last panelist, which is Twyla Martin Kakaba, and she's going to talk to us about tribal federal relations